the fishing the first 500 yards is that early in the morning is absolutely outstanding. I mean, it is amazing how many fish there are. You wouldn't think there's that many fish in that little stretch, but on dries, small dries in the morning. And I've been running barbless double dries till about where the private starts. And then after that, I'll use a dry dropper rig. And most of the time they're on droppers, you know, with the wide gap hook so I can get them off.
Yeah, and that's what I've been fishing is all barbless. And yeah, as soon as you put a fish in the net, I think 90% of the time.
You haven't seen this before. Have you seen this before?
2008, the lowest I've got recorded at the Wellsville gauge is 194. And that's the lowest I've seen it, but it didn't.
But that was post like runoff in 08?
Yeah, in 08.
So that was probably, I mean, that's not saying what the peak was, that's just what the lowest was.
That was the low. The highest. The highest I've actually run a fishing trip on was 3260.
Just treating it like the Grand Canyon.
But I tell you what, it was amazing. I mean, because I had two dudes that said, we're going to go for it.
And they're all pushed against the banks.
Oh, yeah. And so we put in at Salida East and took out at Texas Creek.
Full day.
On a full day.
30 miles.
People don't understand so much that we're a Freestone River, but we're not in as bad a shape as like the Yampa or the Eagle, because we have these reservoirs that actually, like, our water's managed. So what, I mean,
Correct.
Can you explain that a little bit?
I mean, I always tell people that the Arkansas is like a hybrid freestone, because technically the Arkansas itself isn't dammed, but then we have 3 tributaries that are dammed above us, so we get water influence from those reservoirs, but the Arkansas itself isn't dammed. So on a normal year, we get augmented flow and like recreational use flow coming out of Twin Lakes. And so we get, and really I understand the AHRA purchases 10,000 acre feet on normal years of extra water to put into the river from July 1st to August 15th. And it just keeps that, they try to keep the river at 700 CFS.
They purchase it?
Yeah.
So whose water does it become once it runs through here?
Well, that's where the laws are really kind of vague as far as who owns the water after it goes through there.
Yeah, because they buy it for the recreation.
Right, they buy it for the recreation. But so, you know, most of the water that comes out of Twin Lakes probably is going to be for irrigational use.
Right.
And two, we have to transport so much water to Kansas because they won the lawsuit on they weren't getting enough water. So like on this year, they did not transfer a drop of water all winter because they were saving it back because of this. They knew that, you know, this year Kansas is not going to get very much water because we didn't have any water to give them. 258 was 258 at Wellsville.
So that's what that extra little rain.
Well, they calibrated the gauge. We lost like 20 when they calibrated the gauge because they hadn't calibrated the gauge for a while. So that X on the chart is when they calibrated.
Okay.
So they calibrated Salida and the Wellsville gauge.
So so this year there was nothing to buy. There was no extra water.
Well, really, basically all the water we were getting this year is coming out of Clear Creek. And that was because they were working on the dam.
Yeah.
If they weren't working on the dam,
it would have just been native.
It would have been native flow. I mean, we would have not gotten any water.
So the little bumps we're seeing now, I know Pueblo farmers did pull for like 50 CFS, right? Like 2 weeks ago. But then now they're bumping at what, 30 CFS, but they said that's native?
They bumped it 15 the last couple of days, I think, just because of rain, and they're saying it's native that's coming in from Lake Creek. So if it rains super heavy on Independence Pass and Lake Creek bumps, whatever's at this point, whatever's native coming into Twin Lakes, they have to let it go through.
Because people think that like if it rains really hard, it's gonna fix the flows. But the most we're probably gonna see is like
small bumps.
a 20 CFS bump.
And two, if we do see a big flow, it's going to be muddy water. It's
Right.
going to be
Right.
a
That's like
flash flood.
we're definitely. I'm praying for rain, but it'll start making all our normal like there's tons of wash. You always get those flash
Yeah.
floods, and
Right.
now with
So-
this super low flow and flash flooding, normally it'll flash flood and be 700 CFS, so it'll
Yeah.
push through in 24 hours. Now it's going to sit there for 48
So,
hours. Maybe. I don't
so
know.
they're at 1872 on the priority ditches right now. So all three of the big ditches that are coming out of below Browns Canyon, they're shut off. So theoretically, when they get stabilized, we should get 30 CFS out of that, because they're not they can't take that water, and they take out 30 CFS out of the river when their ditches are going.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I haven't seen like Pinion Hills. Skanga's
There's
not
some
watering.
No,
the other-
so they're in the slided ditch, and they have no water. They're
not
shut.
watering anymore.
No, they're shut off.
That's why you said that one farm, yeah, they're not.
So all
Like,
three-
They made one cut, and now it's just yellow. They're not
Yeah.
Right,
Not
right.
doing
So
another cut.
Skangas, the docks, and Moltz's, see, they're all on the same ditch, and they don't have water right now.
Yeah. So how is it that we stay at like 250 through the winter? Is that managed or is that native?
Native.
That's
That's
native.
native.
But we have a lot of tributaries, which is nice, and so it's native water, it's just natural spring water that's coming out of the mountains and coming down to the bottom of the valley. Where I think a big thing when you talk about the Yampa, it's already shut down.
Yeah.
Um,
To fishing, to recreation.
you can't even inner tube it. You can't even
Yeah.
like step foot in that river. It's such a low gradient, low flow, fairly shallow river. It just gets hot. There's no oxygen. Here we have high gradient, high oxygen.
Yeah.
Their water's coming out of, they don't have big high peaks like we do here. So
Right.
their water's starting at lower elevation. It's warmer. We're getting water from 14,000 foot peaks potentially, and it starts at Fremont Pass at 12,000 feet. I think.
What do you think we'll get to this summer?
See, that's the concern, is what's going to happen in August.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be a real concern.
Yeah. And so far, what we are telling people and what we're doing as a company is fishing responsibly and being optimistic and kind of booking with the caveat that everyone knows, hey, we're going to touch base when we get closer to it, because we just don't know what's going to happen in July and August. And so far, things have been good, with the caveat that we are not running full days unless like they start super early in the morning. Basically, we're just trying to get everyone off the water by as quick as possible. Off the water by like 2 at the latest.
Yeah.
What's your kind of like cutoff for floating? Or is it based on clients?
Yeah.
Is there one?
Well,
that's the hard thing.
I canceled 3 trips today because of their age.
Yeah.
You just can't stay off the rocks.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy in the back, he's in a launch chair if you hit a rock,
Right.
and you just can't. I tell him, hey, I'm honest with you. You're going to hit rocks.
Yeah.
There's just no
I
two
always
ways.
tell people that too. Not just bumps.
People always ask like what the best section is at low flows. And it's a really loaded question, because it's like, I don't know your
Yeah.
boat size, I don't know your
Yeah.
rowing skills,
Yeah.
but what's your least favorite
Right now,
section? Yeah.
right now, slide east to Rincon.
Yeah, because of those weirs.
Well, because of the Maverick Ranch.
Yeah.
I mean, it is so hard to drive through there. It
Yeah.
is, and it's not a fishing trip. It's a rowing trip, is what it is.
Yeah.
'Cause all you're doing is pocket water fishing.
Yeah.
Right.
Once you go under Wellsville Bridge for 2.5 miles, you're doing nothing but pocket water fishing.
Yeah, and that's. I've been telling people, it's not your typical float fishing. We're casting to the banks,
Yeah,
just
letting it
hitting
drift.
the banks all day long.
Let it-
It's super technical. It's more technical from a boat in a lot of sections
Yeah.
than just weight fishing,
Yes.
because a lot of times you're fishing straight down below the boat. The guy in the back, if you do have 2 people, the guy in the back's like, where do I fish?
Yeah.
Because there's no water on the edges, but
Right,
the guy in
yeah,
the front is
yeah.
fishing straight down. So it's like, it's really technical
Very
fly
technical.
fishing from a boat
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
Now, I mean, the
Yeah.
fishing has been extraordinary. in the mornings. It's been really good.
Yeah.
But so I guess kind of the next thing is like water temps, right? It's obviously because it's cooler. I've heard you say the fish are kind of a little more acclimated to warmer temperatures here.
I've noticed recently, like super early morning, you're catching fish, but then it does. Those red quills are coming up already,
Yeah.
and which we shouldn't really
Super early.
see them till late August, September, and October. And here, love those red quills.
Yeah.
They just go nuts for them.
Yeah.
And so there's that temp, and I don't know exactly what it is, but once you see red quills come off, and it is, what I've seen recently is like 9:30 in the morning. You start seeing quills, and then they go nuts. So even though we say, okay, let's fish
Cooler
the
temperature.
coldest part of the morning, those fish are waiting for the red quills, I think. And so it is a little later in the morning, and things have heated up a couple degrees, and those fish are waiting for
So
quills.
that
Yeah,
is,
and there's been a ton of tricos too. I mean, blizzard hatches of tricos early in the morning. And
I don't find these fish care about that.
no, they don't care about it, but if you pump them and they're eating them under the water.
Okay.
And so they're more active, you know. I mean, obviously they got to use smaller stuff to
I
catch them.
just don't see, like, it's funny
No.
because people always, I find that there is an amazing trico hatch on this river, but it's not like you go to the South Platte,
Yeah.
every fish mouths up.
Yeah.
Go to the Gunnison, every fish
Yeah.
mouths up. Just the whole river's boiling, eating
Yeah.
tricos. These fish don't eat tricos
No,
on the surface.
no, they don't.
And it's like, why? It's interesting.
Yeah.
does
We haven't trained them.
Yeah.
But
that-
the red quills, like you say, when you float into the red quills, I mean the action picks up immediately.
you're right.
Absolutely. And then you float out of it, and
Done.
you're done. Well, you know, last year we had that flash flood, August the 24th, down below, came out of Badger Creek, and then all those side tributaries on the
Rocks on the highway.
and
Oh,
all
yeah.
So some of the runs that previously were very good runs to fish, held a lot of fish. The sediment, they're white with all the sediment that's filled in around all the rocks and so forth. So those fish had to go somewhere because they're not in there anymore. And it's really amazing. You catch a fish where it's that sediment, he's blended into that color. They're really, really light color, you know, to it. But that sediment should have been gone, you know, but it's not. So
High water, it would clean all that out. It clears the riverbed out, and then we don't see it. But
right.
Right? That's the major factor here, right? Is that it's so hot and the water's so low. These aren't abnormal flows for all. These aren't abnormal flows for once we get past that recreational flow that we usually have. I mean, this is normal for
After August the 15th.
yeah, you know. So I mean, like,
about like, I find like, besides like our normal like augmented flow, recreational use flow, the Arkansas and the Eagle River fish very similarly. The Eagle does not have the augmented flow, and
it's like bust
and it's just as hot down in
bust.
Eagle, Gypsum, Sarah. And that fishery tends to grow bigger fish than we have here. And I'm curious, you know, that these augmented flows, what we've been doing for recreation, if it's not like kind of messes with, we have so many of these fish.
Yeah.
And the Eagle, it's similar gradient, lots of oxygen. Fisheries biologist, he showed a graph of the previous really low water years. Previous low water years have like exponential trout growth too. So they're like feeding like crazy. They can use the whole river. They're not just like tucked into the banks and like stuck in the rocks on the banks or in the willows. Like they're using the entire river to feed. So as long as, I mean, they're feeding like crazy in the mornings, but then as long as we're not like fishing them when it's too hot and killing them in the afternoons. When I first started guiding, 65 was like a stop fishing.
Yeah.
The last decade, 68, I feel like, has now become the number of like well, just keep them in the net. Don't take pictures of them. It's still fine. Above that, stop fishing.
Yeah.
So it's changed, I would say. And if it's over 68, don't.
Weeks ago, one of my guys caught a pretty nice rainbow. And before we got it into the net, it was bleeding out of its gills. And we had a mile and a half to go. I said, we're done. There's no sense of killing these fish by catching them, and they're exerting so much energy.
So like when a fish has heat stress, they'll just start dumping blood out of their gills.
Okay. I said, we're done. We're not going to kill these fish. And that's what you keep doing that, and we're going to hurt these fish.
Yeah.
So
that's, and we were talking about this earlier, that's a conversation too, of like catch and release fishermen.
I've got a couple of friends, and they kill 8 fish a week. But the first 4 fish they catch, they're done.
Yeah.
They don't catch 20 and keep 4.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of a thing.
So this conversation is for like catch and release fishermen who want to be kind of ethical in the sport.
So what I've done with my people is that I go through 7.5 foot 3X tippet to the top fly, 3X to the bottom fly, and that way you can get them in. Sure. If you're using lighter stuff, they're going to tend to play them around out there. But with that equipment, you can get them in right away. You don't have to worry about breaking them off and that kind of stuff. So, and I tell them up front, we get them in as fast as you can.
Yeah.
We are fortunate. We can fish 3X on this river.
Right. Yeah.
Like so many people come into the shop and they go, "Oh, 6X, right? Flow and clear." I mean, you want to fish. The lightest you can fish is 4, or you can fish 3. Or, if they're 2X chubbies, and they're eating 2X on the surface.
Yeah.
It's like, and it is. You can get fishing faster with experienced anglers.
Well, I think it's up to the guide. I think the guide should take a responsibility, and you start seeing fish that are bleeding, or they turn over. You can't get them going again. I think as a guide, myself personally, we're done.
Yeah.
There's, you've caught enough fish up to this point. It's a ride out.
Yeah.
But if they're first timers, I think it's our judgment to inform them about, we're warmer temperatures, and that, it puts a lot of stress on the fish when you do catch them, and so forth. We're not discouraging you not to go. We're not telling you not to go fish.
Right.
We're just informing you on water temperatures are high.
Yeah.
And I guess one of the rules is, or my rule anyway, is if you see blood on them.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been meaning to ask this question 3 times now. There's a theory, a rumor, that if a fish is bleeding out of its gills, you can pour Coca-Cola down there.
You know this?
Have you ever done it? I've never done it.
I've never done it, but
original Coca-Cola can down its throat, through its gills, and it like clots.
Not Diet Coke.
Original red Coca-Cola can.
That might just be from the timing, the era that this myth came from.
I had one guide, I'm not going to name names, a few years ago that said he did it and it worked. But I've never done it. I didn't know if you've ever done it.
No, I've never done it. I've heard it. But
I just don't carry Coca-Cola.
There was
fish in the river and you kill a fish, keep it, eat it, don't just throw it back in the river.
Yeah.
It's like that's the only time I'll keep a trout is if somehow like I eats fly too deep and bleeding.
Yeah.
Like, if the fish is, for the most part, water or blood doesn't clot in water.
Yeah.
So if it's bleeding, it's generally going to die. So it's like why not keep the resource, eat it instead of wasting it.
And I think one of the things too is not good is if you just take a fish and put him in the water, just so he's going down head first, kind of a thing,
Right.
Versus laying them in the net, so that they're going, because they'll come belly back up if you do that.
Yeah. Well, even like if it's in a boat or even wade fishing, like I'll keep them in the net, but I'll kind of like move the net downstream so they're swimming and breathing, and then you kind of bring it back up.
Well, one of the things too with the warm water like this is I've gone to the super wide gap hooks. the widest gap hook I can buy.
I don't know what that means.
So like the gap.
The gap between what?
The shank and the point of the hook.
Oh.
So a standard hook is like this.
Okay.
Wide gap hook has a big belly on it like that.
Got it.
So that way they come out very easily,
Yeah.
and most
I
of
got
them
it
come out
now.
in a net.
Okay.
Yeah, because of the gap is so wide on them.
And still, so these are
These are both size 14 hooks.
Right.
It's such different hooks.
So this is
So this
you
tiny,
tying your own stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
tiny little gap. So between the
Yeah.
shank and the hook point, that's a 14. And this is a 14.
Mm.
If you can show that, I mean,
I don't know if I can.
Yeah, you know.
it's a huge difference in two different style of hooks. And I like this hook too. This one comes out in the neck quite a bit.
Those are both size 14.
Yep.
But that way, you know, I'm giving the fish the
This is the
advantage.
what?
that's the
That's right.
The-
they're not that wide.
Oh, grab
But
teeth is that it?
you know, some of my clients say that they miss more fish on that.
Sure.
So
Yeah. This
putting
is
it
all.
back-
This is all a sport,
yeah,
right?
we're not keeping them to eat. You know, we're
Right.
not surviving on these. This is a sport.
Yeah,
We're
we
supposed
don't
to be
need a
out here.
treble hook.
Yeah, we're out here to have fun and
hooking a fish and losing a fish is just as good as
Taking
one
a
in the
picture.
net.
yeah.
Like
yeah.
they don't even take pictures, honestly.
Yeah.
The people who don't take pictures, they're just like, sweet, got him.
Yeah.
To note, let's not mess with them anymore. And like, yeah, hooking and losing one, they're like,
Yeah.
we're tricking them, we're
Yeah.
fooling them, we're getting the tug. The tug
Yeah.
is the drug.
Is this a good year for beginners? That's kind of a
Fish are
good
feeding like crazy, so
science. Like even people that are learning. Like
it'd
is
be more
this
challenging, I think, because of like the being responsible about fishing. You could just trying not to handling the fish properly, making sure if you're doing catch and release that you're reviving them properly. Like the fishing is crazy. Like you can go cast and maybe it's the worst cast that anyone's ever seen, and you might still have a fish.
Yeah.
So landing it and reviving them, I guess I wouldn't say it's a bad year. It's a good year.
it's not a bad year, but
It's
it
a good
might
year
be
for, I think, learning too, because it is low. So the walk and wade fishing, I always tell people there's more instruction involved. There's
So,
it's
right.
hard to
So
learn from a
obviously going
float,
out with a guide, right? But even just like the person who's trying to fish on their own. It's a more difficult year because I know when I first started and even now, like fumble sometimes, like I think having a net, having hemostats, having the barbs crimped, like making sure you can get the fish off the hook quickly, having a thermometer. Because there's a lot of people who want to be responsible and are trying to do this on their own without a guide.
our river is a super healthy wild brown trout population,
And they're not adding fish to it.
Yeah, we're not adding fish.
Right.
They're wild. They reproduce. If we kill those fish, we're not putting new fish back in.
Like you said, we may see the river get shut down. We've never experienced this before. So everyone asks, like, oh, well, what's, I don't know if we would go into Hoot Owl because we've always had this recreational float.
And then there could be, verbiage of a voluntary closure at some point of higher, but
What is the difference between a voluntary?
just us as shop owners, guides, whatever, saying out loud, don't go fish.
Sure.
That's
Mandatory is what's happening on the
and then voluntary is even like until the Hoot Owl is just like it's still
Hoot Owl
not
is different than mandatory.
Yeah, Hoot Owl sets the hours,
Ah, okay,
so you can't fish during the middle of the day.
okay.
I wonder if that fire at Leadville we get runoff off of that thing, whatever.
dump some nutrients in.
Well, dump some black down.
Oh, black down in. Oh,
Oh,
well, not
What's
right
up there?
now.
Well, not right now, but I
But if
mean
it gets
it's
Down the road.
bigger.
down the road.
well, that's what caused that.
You would burn into Lake Fork, and into Tennessee Creek. That's where it's coming.
Okay.
So it wouldn't hit the. It's never. Knock on wood. It's not going to hit
Main
the
stem.
main stem, but Tennessee Creek and Lake Fork. Lake Fork actually comes down past Saturdays, down over past South 301, but for 300.
I mean, that's all. That's one of the things as an outfitter you worry about if there was a fire. Well, look at
Totally.
the Jury Creek fire here. I mean, we only had one day that it blew out there at Salida East with that black, and that was it was just a short blowout, but that could have been catastrophic.
Well, it was the Animus, right? 2 years ago, 2 summers ago.
Yeah.
That burned and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, we do know how lucky we are with the
So
health
it
of this
is. I think
fishery.
what Larry's saying is like, if that all burns and it rains a lot next year,
Sure.
it just
'Cause
keeps
that's the
dumping black,
headwaters.
and then the
Yeah.
whole river's black
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
summer long.
Yeah.
Real Nino.
Well,
Super El Nino.
thank you, Larry.
Yeah.
Well,
Like I said, you guys are the two guys I know that I feel like know the most about this river. I know there's a lot of there's a lot of other people who know a lot about this river. You're the two I like the most.
Well, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, yeah, yeah, thanks.